get going. So it's over to you, Lily, and welcome.
Thank you, Janet. Thanks for inviting me. And hello, everyone, from wherever you've come from. It looks like this is going to be a really lovely session, and because I'm passionate about personal branding. I'm trying to move the mouse, but it's not helping. There we go. There we go. Housekeeping rules for best results. Please, if you have a cell phone, mobile phone, put it on silent. I've put mine on. Get involved in the webinar, and as Janet said, follow us on OUB School, or you can follow me at Lily Mensah, and I'll follow you right back after the webinar. You can also put hashtag personal branding if you're following us on Twitter. A little bit about myself. I'm the founder and brand ambassador for Links Media. I've been in the branding industry, as it were, for over 15 years. I now specialize in personal branding because I'm more interested in people rather than products. The OU is special to me because I'm an alumna. I did the OU in a roundabout way, but I'm told that I'm not unique in that I started with the CIM, Chartered Institute of Marketing, doing a postgraduate diploma, and then I thought I could do the OU as well. So I went back and finished the OU, and now I have both. I work with senior executives, and I've recently launched my own radio show called Tea with Lily, where I speak to various professionals about all sorts of things that I think other professionals might be interested in, say from, career management, interview techniques, networking, and what have you. I've also lived in 3 continents, i.e. I've lived in Europe, or I'm in Europe at the moment, in London. I have lived in North America, and I've lived in Africa as well. I was actually born in Ghana. So what's your brand? People will say, oh, I need to do personal branding. You're already doing it. It's just about doing it much better now. And Mr. Jeff at Amazon says your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So what does successful branding mean to me? Personally, I think that it's all about working your quirks. Quirks meaning, the quality that you bring to the table, what is unique about you. A great deal of integrity must be attached to a strong personal brand. Be realistic about what you want to do, and also be kind to yourself. So who's this webinar for? Generally, middle managers looking for the next level, i.e. promotion, career changers who want to find out what they're really, really good and passionate about, if they're going to change industry or they just want to do a complete U-turn in terms of what they're doing now, and entrepreneurs who want to have the ideal client. So this is our very first poll question, and Janet, could I please ask you to load them, please? The poll questions here are, well, there's just one poll question, and it could be, how did you find your last or current job? I'd be interested in finding out. Was it through a social network, through friend or colleague, internal communication at work? Was it on one of those monster job board, or even your university, Open University, or perhaps you went to a different university before you came to the OU? Or any other?
Lily, so, I took the liberty of adding other here as well, yes. And that perhaps if anybody has found another a way they got their job, they could perhaps let us know on the chat, and I can feed that back to you. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. People are still answering at the moment. Okay.
I saw that as well. So
sorry, that was a little bit cheeky of me.
Oh, that's fine. Please chime in. I prefer that instead of people sitting there and wondering what is she doing. So please chime in. So how are we doing in terms of the voting?
Right. Well, I think most people have voted now, so I'm going to close the poll, and we'll get the results up fairly shortly. So if you just bear with me one moment. There's a little bit of a wait while some people finish, and it's just, I can see it just loading up now. So
great. I found my last job through networking. So that's quite interesting.
And you should be able to see the results now.
Yes, I can see that now.
Lovely. Okay, I'll let you talk through them then, Lily.
Yes, so in terms of percentage, the larger, I'll just do the smallest one. So the largest one was other, so I can't really say much about that. But a job board, university, just one. That's interesting. And to be honest, I didn't use the Open University job site to find work, and maybe something that we could do better going forward. Sharing opportunities amongst the alumni. Social network 2, friend and colleague 7, interesting. Internal communications at work, and 8 on job board. So the highest is 8 on the job board. Obviously, the other is 11, but I don't know what the other is. So I'd say the highest is
Lily,
on the job board.
I'm just getting some, sorry to overtalk you, I'm just getting some messages in about the other.
Okay.
We've got Lynn, who started her own business.
Oh, okay.
Susan advertised, that's interesting, advertised on an email newsletter. I presume that means she found the job that was advertised on an email newsletter.
Oh, okay.
One was, John said, being a job advert in a professional journal. Yes. And Jeff, my other was a local business exhibition. So there's an example of the few others, which is quite varied, I think.
Yes. And it also goes to show that once upon a time, the way of getting a job, the world of work has changed so much now that you can find work anywhere now. It's not about going to a recruitment agent or being headhunted. Was anybody headhunted, perhaps, for their job, or would you? I think most people would like to be headhunted, and I hope that your personal branding work that you do will help you get headhunted. Let's move on. Thank you for sharing the information about where you found your last job. So I'm going to move on now. There you go. The outcomes and takeaways of today could be understanding the branding process in 4 simple steps. We'll go through all of those. Improving your visibility, tips on owning your name on page 1 on Google. I'm very, very passionate about that. And also how to work your quirks. What are the benefits of a strong personal brand? I believe that you show up in the right places, stand out from your peers, skip a few rungs up the career ladder, and be known for something. And I think that the final one is that people actually choose to work with you because they know what you stand for. You could win, at the end of it, a LinkedIn profile review from me. And if you stay right to the end, and Janet will share that information later. Everybody who stays on and provides feedback would also get a very, very nice LinkedIn quiz questionnaire, which will tell you how well your LinkedIn looks and the few things that you could do to improve that. I could ask Janet to send that to you. I will ask Janet to send that to you at the end of the program, so please stay on. You might be thinking branding is about creating an external image. Branding takes up too much time and money. Branding is just for products and companies such as Nike and Coca-Cola, and it's for celebrities. I completely disagree. I think branding is about having serious fun, and I wish I'd written this. This actually is how I see branding. You've got to accentuate the positives, eliminate the negatives, latch onto the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between. That's by Johnny Mercer and the Pied Pipers. Any questions so far, which Janet will collect and will answer at the end of it. So please put your questions in the Q&A chat.
Lily, we have had someone who asked if quirk could be better explained, but I think you probably covered that as you went through it. So
okay, yes, quirk. I'll put that down. Quirks, I think I have that. Your quirks is, having quality attached to what you're doing on a daily basis, making sure that it's unique to you. There's a lot of integrity attached to what you're doing. Be kind to yourself, and the art means being realistic. So in terms of the difference between what other people say about personal branding, create an external package, create an online CV, change your wardrobe, and bam, you've been rebranded. I would go a step further by going back, and I would recommend that you look at a 360 survey if you've done one before. If you haven't, I'd recommend that you view it with well-meaning people and show it gradually and regularly. So here are the 4 stages of the personal branding process. The research stage. The research stage is about finding out what is unique about you. Review stage is attaching that and reviewing it against your goals. The reveal stage is looking at your brand environment, such as your networking. And the refine stage is looking at everything that you're doing and sharing that information with people out there. So let's start with the research stage. It takes a long time. And Abe Lincoln recommends, said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. I would say I'd spend a third of the time doing the research, which is, I'm assuming that a few of you, or quite a few of you, have done a 360 survey before at work. It would normally be with your bosses or your colleagues. I think that you should go back to your ex-bosses, the clients that you've worked for and the clients you're working for today. Family and friends also provide an awful lot of added value in terms of doing your personal branding 360 survey. These are some of the things that I was described as. So I'm using my own example here as, somebody that's bold and sometimes tells the truth too harshly. But it's good for some people. If you're coaching, which I do coach, if you're coaching somebody, they expect you to tell them exactly what they need to do in order to move to the next level. I'm fairly entrepreneurial by nature, and I will use 5 of the attributes that people describe me as, and use that in everything that I do on a daily basis, whether it's my email signature, whether it's in the literature that I use, my branding, my paper branding, i.e. my letterhead. Everything is branded based on how people describe me. Here are the quirks again: quality, unique, integrity, realistic, and kind to yourself. So let's look at review part of the branding process. That's step 2. Your goals. Looking on a football pitch, you would have, a goal post. There are 11 players helping one person score that goal in the main. And if you focus on that goal, you're more likely to get what you have, more likely to get to where you want to go rather than going everywhere. And I think in the absence of those goals, you tend to do things just because they have to be done. So I'm not going to go too much into goal setting here because I'm sure many of you have done that already. But what I'd like to add is that, just to, look at the 3 R's of goal setting. And I know write doesn't, but it does rhyme. You write it down, you recite it, and you review it often. The young man over there hopefully is writing to Santa and wishing that Santa will bring him something nice for the next day. Now, this is also when you move towards your passions and your values. In that, if you're passionate about literacy or numeracy in school, why don't you start doing teaching a class at school maybe once a month? It's about waking up on a Saturday morning when you don't have to. Shout if you're doing that already. Let other people know that these are the things that you're passionate about, and it's not all about the money that you get at the end of the day. It's the things that make you tick. Step 2 is also about goals, and I would recommend that everybody else gets a girlfriend. I call it a girlfriend, i.e. somebody that will work with you. And these are the 5 key things that I think: a friend or a colleague that you can choose and speak to openly. Set timelines to check in with one another. Be clear with what you need from each other, and set one project or goal at a time, and review all that against your overall objectives. are there any questions, any more questions?
There are a couple, Lily. Somebody's asking if the slides will be available, and I think we agreed they would be. So I will be sending those out to everyone. Julian has said, I'd love to be headhunted, but I feel the effort is all on my part. Tell us how to do it, Lily.
To be headhunted, that's a big one. That's a big one. And having a good LinkedIn profile is one way. Looking at where the key HR people go and hang out is also another way. And speak to the people that either headhunted in which industry. Ask those people in the industry, say, do you know somebody who's in this particular industry? It's all about social work. It's not just about networking now, it's about social networking. And your LinkedIn profile, if it doesn't stand out, the headhunters will not find you. So who asked that question again?
It was, bear with me, I'm just going up.
Was it Lynn?
Was from, oh, I've gone past it. Bear with me one moment.
Don't worry, whoever you are, you can send me an email at the end of it, and perhaps we can chat offline.
Yeah, it's interesting you should talk about LinkedIn actually, because so often I look at LinkedIn profiles and they do seem to be very much the same, some of them. So you know, I totally understand what you're saying about standing out. Anyway, I'll let you carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. So the reveal stage, which is the third stage, is all about your brand environment. And I'll just, again, it goes out in four key areas. The network that you have, your wardrobe, the tools that you use, and your online presence. Let's look at your network, for instance. Your network, in my view, is your personal sales force. So try if there's your network determines your net worth. There's also the saying that your network will be the people, they're your personal sales force who will sell you whilst you're asleep. So my recommendation is to be selective. There's no point in having 500 people in your network and only 25 of them knowing you very well. I'd rather I had 75 or 100 people in my network, but 75 of those people know me really well, because they'll be able to sell you. Well-meaning people will ask you to go on networking evenings or afternoons, but it's okay to say no, because if you can't add any value to that network and vice versa, why would you spend your time there? So be selective, and this is where less is really more. It will also save you time and money. Your wardrobe, if you're working with an image consultant, that's fair enough, but it's something, your looks will tell volumes about you. If you're moving into a new industry or you're looking to get promoted, start acting and being seen already. Start acting like the job that you want rather than the job that you're in, and that includes the way you dress. So if you want to be headhunted, start looking at where you're seen. Stop hanging around with the middle managers. Start trying to hang around with the senior managers if you can get that opportunity. Another, the reveal, say the tool, and I've chosen one, even with the advent of Skype, people even Skype their dogs when they're on holiday. But I would say if you have a video conference, set the scene, dress the part, fix your face, because normally if you have a face-to-face meeting, you do that. And the numerous times that I've seen people have conference calls and they haven't made the effort. So if you have the opportunity, make sure that you're sitting in the right place where the light will hit your face and your face will shine when you're speaking to them. And I know number 5 seems a bit silly and flimsy, but it's very important. Go and give yourself a confidence boost by smiling in the mirror and blowing a kiss at your reflection. And number 6 is practice, practice, practice. And if you have what I call, rent a critic, i.e. a young, honest person who can tell you that whatever it is that you can practice with, that will be an added bonus. There is another poll question coming up.
I've just opened the poll, Lily.
Yes, I can see that. So have you Googled yourself before? Yes, in the last couple of months, before a client meeting or a job interview, just out of curiosity, or perhaps never. Perhaps you're one of those that, things that Googling yourself is an outrageous pastime. Really interesting to find out.
Yes, there's a few people still answering, Lily, so I'll give everybody a little bit more time, but if you want to carry on.
I'll carry on. I asked that question because in this day and age, if you haven't Googled yourself, the likelihood is that somebody else is Googling you. Do you want to submit? Okay.
I'm just finishing the poll, so if you just bear with me, and then I'll be showing the poll results for you.
It looks like I've voted too, so.
Really good. And out of interest, I haven't Googled myself, but I think perhaps I should.
You should. I mean, maybe 5-10 years ago, I would have said it was an awful thing to do. But the thing is, you need to know what's out there about you, and everybody should Google themselves. And I'll give you tips on how to manage what comes up after you've Googled yourself.
Can you see the results now, Lily?
No, not yet.
Ah, right. That's strange.
This poll has
Bear with me. Oh, that's very odd. I do apologise. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'll read it out to you.
Okay.
I think it's... I'm just going to look at the results. Right, 31% have said they have Googled themselves in the last couple of months.
Good.
Nobody's done it before a client meeting or a job interview. 52% have done it out of curiosity. and I think it's 12% have said no, never. That's outrageous.
Okay. But I'm not, personal branding, it's not about beating anybody up and saying what you're doing is wrong, but it's all about letting people have the options to do the right things. So if you have Googled yourself in the last couple of months, well done. Out of curiosity, well done. Before a job interview, a client meeting, I think is a must. And certainly, if you haven't Googled yourself, what will you know? How will you know what other people are seeing or hearing about you? So it's worth doing, just out of curiosity. Let's look at your online presence here. You've got Google, you've got Facebook. There is something. There's a website called Brand Yourself, and that helps you. www.brand yourself. That helps you manage your online presence, so you can have your page one. You can own page one on Google. There's also an online idcalculator.com. Again, it tells you how your online ID is seen. It will even go as far as telling you whether you're digitally disastrous or digitally relevant. You can also get yourself a QR code. I got myself a QR code behind my business card because, one of my good mentors, William, said to me, if you have a good QR code on your business card, it looks like you've got Botox on your personal brand. So I thought, yes, I want some of that Botox. And so I had that done. The good thing about that QR code is that I had run out of business cards at a networking event, and somebody asked for my business card, and I gave them my last business card, and they managed to zap my contact details based on the QR code. So it's not completely wasted, and it's worth thinking about. Don't know what's going on here. Okay. So your key online tools, Facebook, Google Plus is also one that is coming up quite a lot lately, and because it's owned by Google, it's worth looking at. LinkedIn, I'm sure everybody has a LinkedIn profile on this conference call, but no doubt that everybody can improve on their LinkedIn profile, even me. Twitter is also an interesting way to engage with professionals, thinking about professionals, and so on and so forth. And we will move on to the next bit. Refine. Networking is about completing rather than competing, and I think sharing brings about collaboration. Karen Brady, I mean, she's a woman that I have a lot of career envy for, you know, a woman, you know, First Lady of Football, Baroness Brady. She says, I've learned from the most competitive team game in the world that nothing can be achieved unless you work together. And I completely agree with her, because networking is about giving, it's about sharing. And often you go to networking events and you find that people are there to see what they can pick from the participants, and I think it's done the wrong way. Refine. Let other people toot your horn. Ask for testimonials, references, recommendations, and be mildly obsessive about it. Don't be shy, because it adds credibility. Because I don't know, because I've lived in the UK and lived in the United States, I can tell the difference culturally. Most of us in the UK can be a little bit shy about asking for things. In America, what I found, it was completely different. So ask for it. Things are changing. We live in a global world now, so people won't know. If you don't ask, they won't tell you. So another thing is to ask for help. Ask for help. Even on a social networking site like LinkedIn is fine, because likelihood is that somebody else might not know. Be a curator. Once upon a time, you had to create your own masterpiece in terms of writing articles. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just share and send on great articles. You don't have to create your own. Stand for something. Share what you're good at. Share the things that you're passionate about, whether it's cancer research. Let people know what you think. And of course, recommend other people. I would say do a recommendation once a month. Write it properly. Normally, recommendations over one sentence is not enough. Let people know why you're actually tooting somebody else's horn. So once you've done all that, you want your return on your investment. That's what the financial people will tell you. So go back and measure it against your goals. Feedback from your boss or client. Are you happy with your job? Has the conversion in terms of your investment changed? Salary, promotion? Have you got more clients that you want? What is your Google result saying? Say in about 6 months' time, have you, after putting in the work, are you number one on Google results? And so on and so forth. So are there any other questions?
There are some questions, Lily.
Okay.
Jeff has asked about the slide on goal friend was intriguing. What does Lily mean by working on one goal at a time, and how does this relate to personal branding?
The goal might be that you have decided perhaps to update your LinkedIn profile, or you have decided that you might be doing more on Twitter. Or you might decide that you want to do more speaking engagements, perhaps. This goal friend will then work with you to say, where do you want to do your speaking? Have you thought about perhaps joining a speaking organization? Do you want me to help you with your practice? That sort of thing. Speaking engagements will ultimately help with your personal brand. So I hope I've answered that question.
Lovely, thank you. And Gillian has asked, how do you get a QR code? And I must admit, I have no idea how to do that either.
A QR code is you can go on, again, back to Google, type in QR code generator, and you can get one for free. The QR code, you can put pretty much anything in there. Your email address, your LinkedIn your LinkedIn profile can be seen on there as well. Anything that you want to share with the rest of the world is there. Your telephone number, anything.
Thank you. That's very interesting. I might look into that.
Yeah, you want to get some Botox from your personal brand.
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Lily.
You're welcome. So in summary, your personal brand really is about doing a bit of research, reviewing it, revealing it, and refining it. And back to quotes, I'll keep going back to that. Quality, unique, integrity, realistic, and be kind to yourself, because personal branding is about having fun. These are some of the quick takeaways that I would recommend. Getting yourself a QR code, email signature. I don't think I mentioned about me, but if you haven't got one and you don't have a website, it's worth creating an About Me page that tells, it gives a one-page outline about the things that you're passionate about. Also, one thing that I think helps, if you have a long discussion with people, try and change the subject line halfway through the conversation. Otherwise, people are not quite sure what you're coming back to them for. So these are sort of quick takeaways that you can do for us after lunch. The long-term plan is obviously the girlfriend. Set yourself a Google alert, and those who don't have, who've never Googled themselves, you actually set yourself a Google alert on your name or the topics that interest you, and you don't have to be researching all the time. Brandyourself.com as well, I mentioned, and updating your LinkedIn profile. So the person that Janet will let me know who has won the LinkedIn profile review will work with me, and what I'll do is I'll look through their LinkedIn profile and give them 5 things they can do to improve that profile and get noticed and get headhunted. So that's it, and I'd like to say thank you, and everybody will have a LinkedIn quiz, and the next thing is to say thank you in several languages. I know you've all come from afar to join this conversation, but there's the one right in the middle is it says Midasi, and that's thank you in the Akan language in Ghana. So thank you very much. Janet.
Thank you, Lily. That was wonderful, very interesting. I've got a couple of questions come in, which I'm going to ask you the question so you can answer it, and then I will put up the slide to show people how they can do the LinkedIn competition. Sandra has said that she had a client that she did work for over 5 months, and it all went well except for the last piece. She was going to ask for feedback but felt reluctant because of that, because it had gone wrong. Had you got any ideas about how she could ask for feedback in that situation?
I'd ask anyway. If it went okay, if the person is honest enough and well-intended, ask feedback from well-intended people. And obviously, if the feedback is not so positive, there's something to learn from it. There's nothing wrong with getting feedback. It doesn't always have to be positive, but it's something that we can learn from. So I'd say, please ask for that feedback. And how are you going to ask? Was it going to be on LinkedIn, or was it going to be on a private letter or email?
Yeah. Okay, we've got another question from Phil, who says, LinkedIn is used as a professional tool, but what is your take on Twitter? Professional, social, or both?
Oh, I'd say both, because on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I use it for fun stuff too, and I'm an avid Arsenal supporter. So any Arsenal supporters on the call, I'm waving to you. So I do tweet a little bit about football, and so yeah, you can use it as both. What I would recommend is that you use the 4-1-1 idea. Four fun things to do for every one career serious stuff. So 4-1-1 for Twitter.
Okay, and we've got another question. she said she's found it interesting branding info, but the downside is presumably you've got to be credible when you brand yourself. And I think, yes, I think that's something you'd definitely agree with. Yeah. Also, thank you to, I'm sorry, I don't know, can't see the first name, but it's O'Sullivan who put the code in for us for the QR code generator. So I will pass that around. And unfortunately, my file is not loading. So what I will do is I will send this round to everybody in an email. So I do apologise. For some reason, WebEx is not letting me load. So huge apologies for that.
Could I just add, in terms of the LinkedIn quiz, when you go in to ask for the quiz, because the code you'll put in will be my personal Gmail address, I will get a copy of what the LinkedIn quiz says about you. If this is something that you're uncomfortable doing, I know this is a private area. If you're uncomfortable me having a copy of your LinkedIn quiz, then please do not fill it in, but I promise I won't share with anybody, but I will get a copy because you'll be putting my email address in as your password. I just thought I'd explain that.
Thank you very much, Lily. We've got a couple more questions and we've got time if you're okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, Eunice has asked, what about Pinterest? What are your views on Pinterest?
Pinterest, I believe, is if you have a really visual offering. So if you have something that you can be visual, I don't know. It's something that is there for those who have visuals. I will make a comment on stuff because I have an image consulting arm to my business. So I will comment on or upload stuff about, which dress or which cut looks good on a particular celebrity. But I haven't used it that much for other things like personal branding and writing CVs. So it depends on what you need it for. It's growing, but it's not big enough.
Right. Thank you, Lily. Abby has asked, what is your opinion when your personal friends, not in the same professional circle, wants to join your LinkedIn circle? I think they're asking, should you let them, or is it to be discouraged?
You should let them. Unless if they're a friend and they're professionals, it doesn't matter. It widens opportunities for you.
Okay, and Pamela has asked, now this is a big question, how many social media tools should you use?
3.
3?
3.
Can you recommend which ones?
For career, it's a big one, but I'd say 3 for career purposes. Otherwise, again, less is more. 3.5. Okay, 3.5. I'll choose. LinkedIn, Twitter, and if you have Facebook a little bit, but perhaps not too much, and Google Plus.
Yes. Okay, that's lovely. I don't think there's any more questions coming in now, Lily, but there's lots of thank yous. So I think we'll let everybody get off to their lunch now, and yourself. So thank you very much for joining us, everybody, and I hope you've enjoyed that. And if you do have any questions or any follow-up, you can follow up with myself, janet.barker@open.ac.uk, and I will be sending out lots of information in the next couple of days. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Lily. That was a very enjoyable session. Thank you.
Thank you, and feel free to link with me on LinkedIn, and then I'll be more than happy to answer your questions as well.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.